Hi there, it's Katrina Sawa here, the Jumpstart Your Biz Coach with jumpstartyourmarketing.com. And I want to talk to you today about a quick marketing strategy that you could use in your business depending on who you are, what you do, and how far along in your business that you are. What I want to talk to you about today is being a host of your own online radio show. And I'll tell you, when I first thought about doing this, I thought, oh, it's great. I'll get great exposure. Lots of people will come and listen, and I'll get clients, and it's a very low-cost way to get in front of big audiences. Well, it's not quite as easy as that, I must say. I've been doing my radio show now for maybe 2-3 years, and it's been on Blog Talk Radio, and it's blogtalk.com, and if you go there, you can check it out. I know there's a couple different options to be a host. I pay around $29 a month, which is not very bad at all. I think there's an annual fee as well. So if for some reason you don't see that option on there and you want to check it out for yourself, you can send me an email. Just go to jumpstartyourmarketing.com, send me an email, ask me, hey, I saw your video about the radio show thing, have a question, and I'm happy to answer. My point of the video today, though, is to share the pros and cons of doing a radio show. And there's a few other platforms out there. There are some people who you can pay to be a part of their network, and then they actually advertise all the shows in their network. And depending on the cost, sometimes those are a few $100s a month, sometimes even more. Sometimes they're thousands of dollars a month, but they have huge exposure and reach. And then the goal of your show as the host is actually to take advertisers for your show. So you really need to sell ads during your show. You've heard those shows where they talk for 10 minutes and then they have 4 minutes of ads and then they talk for another 10 minutes and maybe have some more ads. That's that kind of show. So there's a few different options. I chose not to go the advertising route for my radio show purely because I come from an advertising world. I used to sell advertising in the local newspaper here in Sacramento, and I frankly didn't want to sell ads. Okay, so if you get into a higher invested program like that, know that advertising is not quite as easy as it sounds either to sell advertising. So just be careful getting in over your head. If you are going to start out in your own radio show, I'd probably recommend the lower price things that you can stop and start whenever you want to. Now, the pros that I do recommend is being completely consistent. You can't have a radio show and just haphazardly do a show whenever you feel like it. You really need a system on how you're going to, when you're going to do the show. You have to have a focus and a theme of your show. You can bring in guests if you want. Most of the time I bring in a guest to my shows. And in fact, you can apply to be a guest on my show. If you go to my show page on my website, the direct URL to get there is jumpstartyourbusinessnow.com. That's the radio show page on my website, and it's the name of my show, Jumpstart Your Business Now. And but I would start with the lower priced one. You don't typically have a big following right off the bat. The key with Blog Talk and other online platforms is you still have to market your show. Just because you're on this humongous website with all these other hosts doesn't mean you're going to get a bunch of traffic to your site. Okay, so that's just not going to happen. You have to market your show. You have to tell people to go there. You have to tell people to listen. You have to post the archives and the upcoming shows on your blog and your website and your social media and your email newsletters. I mean, you need to market your show. Now, that's a lot of work, right? So what we've done in my business is I have somebody dedicated to be doing that for me. Okay, so I highly recommend if you are going to take on doing a radio show that you don't try to figure it out yourself. You're going to want somebody dedicated. And my assistant tells me it takes our team, about 2 hours a month to not only post the new shows, but communicate with the guests, book the guests, get all the guests' information, put it up on the website, market it in the blog and all this different social sites. And all of that done is by my team. Okay, the only thing that I do is actually put it in my newsletter occasionally and actually show up to the show and do the interviews, okay, and actually talk to people. I talk to people and business owners all the time and say, oh, you should be a guest on my show. It'd be great. So I do find leads for guests of my shows. But other than that, it's all taken care of by my team. And there is no way I'm telling you that I could do that show twice a month without my team. Oh my God, there's too many little details that are going to get missed. And so I highly recommend, if you are thinking about it, it is a good thing if you want a platform to be able to speak. Okay, you can do these free video tips though too, right? You can also do free teleclasses. You can do a free video stream on Ustream if you want. But radio is different, and some people like to have the fact that they're a host, they have their own radio show. So it does add a little bit of credibility if the media is looking at you. And that's what I had to say about radio shows. There is a little bit more to it than that. If you're going to do the shows yourself, you need to plot out content and things like that. The archives of the shows can make great bonuses. A lot of times I'll do the show by myself and I'll teach something in the show, and then I'll use that recording as a bonus to getting on my list or doing other things. So there's pros and cons, but I wanted to talk about them today. So hopefully this was helpful for you business owners out there who've been thinking about doing a radio show. If you have more questions, remember, go to jumpstartyourmarketing.com. Feel free to ask me a question, or sign up for the free stuff on there, and you'll get a chance to talk to me even. And I'll see you soon.